Hustle culture. We so often think of burnout and this endless grinding ambition as uniquely modern problems, right? Like they were born from social media and climbing corporate ladders. But as we're about to see, the human mind has actually been wrestling with these exact same drives and traps for literally thousands of years.
Now, before we really unpack these ancient texts, I want you to consider your own pursuit of success for a second. Think about the hours you're working, the goals you set, all that stress you carry around every day. Does that drive actually bring you a sense of lasting peace? Or, and be entirely honest with yourself here, does it kind of trap you in this endless looping cycle where enough is just never actually enough? Just kind of keep that in the back of your mind as we dive in.
Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, the hunger for more, where ambition begins.
So the source material establishes a really crucial baseline for us here. It tells us that the path to ruin doesn't usually start with some massive dramatic disaster. Nope. Instead, it typically kicks off with something incredibly ordinary. It's just a simple, really intense hunger for wealth and success. An internal appetite that just constantly demands to be fed.
Of Ecclesiastes. The text argues, and it's pretty blunt about it, that the root of all our hard work is often just one person's envy of another. Basically, it's the ancient equivalent of keeping up with the Joneses. We look at what someone else has achieved, and bam, that comparison triggers our own exhausting toil. The author looks at that entire cycle and diagnoses it as, well, totally meaningless.
Think about what it means to literally chase the wind. It's invisible, it's constantly shifting, and the faster you run after it, the more exhausted you get, without ever actually holding on to anything tangible. And that innocent-seeming hunger? Well, it leads us straight into Section 2, the trap of wealth, the spiritual snare.
The ancient texts issue a really stark warning right here. They suggest that this drive for success frequently morphs into a hidden spiritual trap. And you know how traps work? By design, they're completely invisible until it's too late. It catches us off guard, triggering a snare that captures a person's inner life, their peace, their true purpose, basically holding them hostage to their own ambitions.
Now, this brilliantly illustrates the downward spiral described in 1 Timothy chapter 6. Look at how it maps the exact chronological descent. Step 1 is simply wanting to get rich. Innocent enough, right? But that desire leads to Step 2, falling into temptation, which then opens the door wide for Step 3, foolish and harmful desires. And before you even realize the trap is sprung, you're dragged right down into Step 4, absolute ruin and destruction. It's a remarkably precise psychological map.
So, you might be wondering, why on earth do we fall into this trap so easily if the descent is so predictable? Well, we fall for it because of a really powerful illusion, highlighted here in Ecclesiastes 10,